Hello everyone, before we start this video, a message from the 3rd Battalion of Ukraine's Volunteer Corps. Good day. The 40th Separate Battalion of the 3rd Tank Army of the Armed Forces of Ukraine approached us with a request to help raise funds for a DJI Mavic 3T surveillance drone. In total the boys were able to raise only $400 and another $6,800 is needed. I understand that the amount is not small, but their lives are priceless. We are all grateful to you for every donation and nice comment. Video, photo and PayPal statement will be available after the collection closes. Thank you for your support. Glory to Ukraine. So first of all, apologies if you can hear the patter of rain. The rain's quite bad at Taipei here at the moment. Now, I have some interesting satellite imagery to look at here, showing the current location and movements of the Black Sea Fleet as well as one of the Black Sea Fleet's frigates, which has been put into dry dock recently. I have images from both Sevastopol and Novorossiysk, so let's check out Novorossiysk first. This is a much smaller base than Sevastopol. The image from 4th of May shows that first of all Habour-class landing craft are here. 3 on the left, 2 at the bottom, 1 in the middle. Now I believe this may be a mistake by the uploader as I can only spot 5 Habour-class ships. The Black Sea Fleet officially has 4, but some have been deployed from other fleets. Here's an image of one to look at. These often move between Sevastopol and Novorossiysk, carrying out various transport duties. While the Crimean bridge is down for the railway to be repaired, these look to be carrying out the bulk of heavy shipments. Next at the top we have an Ivan Grigorovich-class landing craft. These aren't officially part of the Black Sea Fleet, but a number have been redeployed for operations here for the Northern Fleet. Just 2 of them are in service. Next to the Ivan Gren is a Project 22160. This is a large patrol ship. The Black Sea Fleet has 4 of these operational at the moment. They're attached to the 184th Novorossiysk Coastal Defence Brigade. There's a Rapua highlighted, this I've covered before. Then highlighted also is a trio of BNB-class corvettes. These are important ships for the Black Sea Fleet as they're known to carry caliber missiles which are launched against the Ukraine mainland. 4 of these are in active service, but 1 is deployed to the Mediterranean. These ships usually we see them at Sevastopol itself, but here all 3 are accounted for at Novorossiysk, so these have been redeployed. Well, that doesn't mean they are going to be here permanently. The ships do tend to go back and forth from each bases sometimes, such as the Kilos, which we'll look at later. We sometimes see them all at Novorossiysk, sometimes all at Sevastopol, sometimes split, so half at each base. So Russia does tend to stagger the bases where the ships are deployed quite often. In the subpen, a pair of Kilo-class submarines. These would be excellent targets for a drone strike. Russia uses them to launch caliber missiles, so you have to think that these would be a key target. Here's an image of one. While the Kilos first entered service in 1980, they have since been upgraded and there's newer variants which have been built since then. They were mainly intended for anti-shipping and anti-submarine role, but as mentioned, Russia uses them now to launch caliber missiles against ground targets. They've been widely exported as well as Russia, Algeria, China, India, Myanmar, Poland, Iran, Romania, and Vietnam have all operated the type, so it's a pretty popular type of submarine. 7 are in the Black Sea Fleet, however, 1 is undergoing repairs and 1 is based in the Mediterranean. So for the war in Ukraine, there are 5 Kilos. Finally highlighted, a cargo ship, pointed out as being a weapons runner. Now not highlighted by MT Anderson, but near the weapons runner, you can also see a floating crane manoeuvring in the harbour. If you remember back when Snake Island was under Russian control, we often saw these floating cranes in and around there, notably recovering one of the Cerners which was sunk by a Bayraktar. So let's check out where this is. So you can see here it's close to 600 kilometers from Odessa, but Ukraine has shown it is capable of hitting targets in this area. 2 oil depots in recent weeks, plus 1 a couple of months ago a bit further south. So this is definitely in range of Ukraine's drones. Now on to Sevastopol. This is a much bigger harbour than Novorossiysk and home to many more ships, including a few interesting ones I've seen on the satellite imagery, which we'll get to later. It's been targeted multiple times by Ukraine, mostly by those marine drones, but unfortunately with little success so far. One of the successes those marine drones it has got Russia a bit more cautious, but we'll get to that later on at the end of the video. At the frigate pier, we can see one Frigate-class frigate. Two of these are in the Black Sea Fleet, but one, the Pivdenna, is down for maintenance. Here's an image of one. It's fitted with anti-submarine missiles and SAM systems. Next to the Frigate, we can see an Amur-class repair ship, so it's possible and likely that this is the Frigate being repaired. The Amur is a common sight here. We've seen it on past satellite images of Sevastopol. An image of one is shown here. Next to the Amur, a Grisha 3 class corvette. Russia has two Grisha 3s and one Grisha 1 attached to the Black Sea Fleet. They're designed for anti-submarine operations and form the 68th Coastal Defence Ship Brigade. Next up, a bora-class hovercraft. Classed as a guided missile corvette, the Black Sea Fleet has just two of these, one of which is undergoing refit. Finally, we can see the second of the Frigate-class frigates to the right-hand side. I assume this may be the active one as it isn't near the repair ship. Here the next image, we can see the ammunition pier, the refueling pier, Pivdenna Bay, and the submarine pens. First up, the ammunition pier. So here we can see a Tarantul 3 class ship and a Natya class ship. 4 Tarantuls are attached to the Black Sea Fleet, designed for coastal defence and anti-shipping. They are the 295th Missile Boat Brigade. The Natya, shown here, is a minesweeper. There are 2 Natyas in service as part of the 170th Minesweeper Division. At the refueling pier, we can see a second Tarantul class ship and our second Natya minesweeper. Now on to Pivdenna Bay. 2 Rapuas are seen, possibly ones which have sailed between the satellite images being taken to Sevastopol from Novorossiysk. But we can't rule out these being different ships, as some have been attached to the Black Sea Fleet from elsewhere. Next to the Rapura in Pivdenna Bay, we have our third Tarantul of a Dugong class. The Dugong, shown here, is a small landing craft. Now none of these are attached to the Black Sea Fleet, but 5 are in service with the Russian Navy, with the Caspian, Baltic, and Pacific fleets. So this has been redeployed to Sevastopol from one of those. Next to the Dugong, a familiar face, the Cerner. Familiar because we saw a couple get sunk near Snake Island last year. 2 are seen at Pivdenna Bay. Here's an image of the Cerner. Since 2 are sunk, 2 are just left in service. Finally, the submarine pen, we can see 3 more Kilo submarines. So all Kilos attached to the Black Sea Fleet are accounted for, 3 at Sevastopol and 2 of them at Novorossiysk. So the Kilo fleet has been separated to serve from different bases for the time being. Whether that's temporary or permanent, or if it's temporary, how long this will be for, we don't know. But it's interesting to see that they have been split up for now. Now here's the most interesting bit, the repair dock. We can see an Admiral Grigorovich-class frigate has been put into dry dock. And I found this interesting. There are 3 Grigorovich-class frigates in the Black Sea Fleet. One is being sent to the Baltic, but the other 2, the Essen and Makarov, are reported as active. Now I'm not sure why it is in dry dock. I don't want to say flat out that it suffered damage in a drone attack, but the question does need to be raised and considered. As previously, all 3 Grigorovich-class ships were active. Now it could just be regular maintenance and repairs. Ships do break down, as Russia knows full well, with its aircraft carrier, which spends more time being repaired than it does floating. And I do personally think this could be just regular maintenance or repairs, or it broke down. As far as I'm aware, Ukraine's latest marine drones attacks didn't actually reach the frigate pier where these are typically based, but we can't rule it out as suffering some damage. Another ship is seen undergoing repair. This here is the second bora-class hovercraft. This one has been known to be undergoing refit for a while now. So, interesting. There were claims that the Black Sea Fleet had evacuated Sevastopol, but as we can see, that is incorrect. Many ships are still there, including 3 of the important submarines. A final image for you here. These ones show the defences of Sevastopol. You can see defensive berms at the harbour entrance, the frigate pier, and at Pivdenna Bay. So Russia is clearly worried about a marine drone attack again. Here's an image of the base showing the positions of a defensive netting to safeguard it. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it interesting. If so, please click like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks again and take care everybody.